Hello and welcome to Qigong Academy podcast, episode 3. Today we have the honor to interview Ping Dijie. She's a Qigong teacher from Germany and originally from China. So enjoy. I wish you a wonderful listening and watching.
Anyway, it's a good question. What is the meaning of Qigong practice? Yeah. One way it's good to practice very intensively because to get certain healing effect or you do want to build up your own qi or make progress, you need it. You need a certain time to go deepening. Yeah. But actually, this is just for the beginner. Yeah. Or in case you need some really to get a lot of qi to help yourself. Yeah. But in another way, the practice in the daily life, everybody finds their own way is also much more important. Yeah, because my understanding is like if you really go deepening into this practice, and you do need to practice in daily life. This is very important. And even better, if you don't have the idea, I'm doing the practice, but actually you are doing the practice. This is the best. So you don't have the definition which is practice, which is not, and all the way you do is automatically, naturally follow the rule or follow the Tao, and this is the most beautiful practice. Of course, it's a process. It's also a way to go.
I think it's really interesting because I think what we tend to see is the strict practice. It's the learn the movements, follow the form. And we don't so often hear about the bit that comes after it. And I think it's probably sensible we don't hear about the bit that comes after it, because I've met a lot of people in my time with Qigong who've kind of been to one Qigong class and then gone, I'm going to invent my own form of Qigong. And I think you need to do the work to understand what the work is. So I think it's really important to have those structures at the front. I think, but I think to get stuck in thinking that's all it is, I don't think and I'm not saying that any of us here think that, but I think that it's almost a trap. It's like I can remember years ago learning a form and then practicing it every morning for about 6 months. And it was a complex form. It took over an hour to go through the form. And there was one day I was out in the garden and I'd been practicing diligently for almost an hour and a half. And I finished and I went, what's the point of this? All it's done is made me think I'm good at doing this form. It hasn't given me anything other than made me think I'm good at Qigong. And I think it's a trap that we can fall into.
Yes, I think the question is in what kind of situation you are doing. Yeah, for example, if you are doing an education, and the goal is to teach this form in the future, of course you need to learn it strictly correct, a theory and also the form, and also you need to practice for a certain time intensively, daily, and to get experience about it. But of course, it's Qigong practice. It's not only the form, you need to also understand how to use the mind and how to feel the qi and all combine together in certain qi state, Qigong state. Yeah, this entirety you build up. And then, yeah, in this way, you need to really practice and learn it in a strictly way. Yeah. But otherwise, if you are already experienced Qigong practitioner, and but you are curious of a form, yeah, and then you learn it at the beginning, and then of course you follow the rules and to practice to get understanding what is it and to get a feeling, experience it, and then of a certain level, maybe suddenly you understand, okay, uh, this is it. And that's why I need to practice in this way. This makes sense. And then, yeah, of this level, maybe you can get certain free term, free, yeah, you can get certain free. Yeah, you can then use it in a flexible way. You can combine. You can, yeah, yeah. It's always relative.
So you have to learn
Yeah.
to walk, and then you can try to run or to sprint or to kind of that. Okay.
Yes.
Where's the level when you can decide I run? How much do you have to know?
Oh, thanks for that.
It's a good question. Yes.
I think it depends on the person. So I had a one-to-one this morning with a lady who has just come to me who has stage 4 cancer. And the question is, how can you do something for somebody in that situation that gives them the ability to go and practice for themselves and get immediate benefit? And the answer to the question when you're working with somebody in that scenario who's got a very definite thing that's happening that is causing all kinds of questions, all kinds of difficulties, all kinds of challenges in their life, then the point that you can give them something is going to be quite different to somebody who may come to you who just wants to have a bit of well-being or a bit of a, I think it depends on the level of it depends on the life situation of the person. I don't think that you can just put a blanket line across it. And the other thing I think is interesting here is that when you have people who've got experience of other practices, so like again, the lady today has got a number of practices that she does. So then the question is, well, why do you want to do Qigong? Isn't this just yet another practice? And does that really serve you? So maybe then the interaction is not about doing Qigong, it's about adding some depth to some of the other things that are going on within her life. But that's a very different thing to the people who come in and they want to learn lift Qi up, pour Qi down. And I think that if we look at what happened at the Huajia Center, I think that it was a very different culture. It was a very different way of being with health issues. So the structures that worked there, I think they would work in the West if we had the time and the inclination and the ability to do it. But I don't think many people have got the time or the inclination or the ability to interact with Qigong that way. So I think there's an interesting balance here.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Yeah. And yeah, there are different situations and also different goals to practice Qigong. Yeah. And according very individually background, yeah, healthy background, culture background, etc., etc. And go back to Joe's question. Yeah. How do you know you can already good walk? Yeah. And then you can jump, you can run. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's if we are talking about the qigong, the technique, yeah, the qi feelings, yeah, of course you need a certain time, yeah, depends on, yeah, how much talent you have, yeah, to go into this qigong state, feel the qi, feel this entirety, yeah. Some people can get it very quickly, some people not so quickly, yeah, and also the movement, yeah, the body condition is also different, yeah, and to learn the movement, the talent is also different, yeah. Some can learn very quickly, yeah. In this case, yeah, anyway, I think for 只能 Qigong level 1, in general, yeah, maybe you need 3 months or half years to get yeah, basic experience to see now I can walk a little bit. Yeah, maybe I can without listen to teachers guiding or a CD. I can practice by myself, and I can feel the chi. Yeah, I can get a certain state. Yeah, and then it's a basic foundation, to start discover more. And also Dr. Fang also said even this method is a beginner level 1, but it's also a shortcut direct to the very highest level. Through this method you can also achieve the root of life. And you can also transform the whole body, qi and mind, totally. But not everybody has this kind of talent. I only do this and then I get everything. And if you really want to be sure which level I am, is maybe it's better to talk with a teacher, experienced teacher, and to see, share, and to hear the others' understanding of feedback, also teamwork. Because 只能提供 is an open form. It's always good to communicate with other, share, and ask the feedback, the idea from the other.
Mhm.
When do you know that you can now start to run?
So what's
What
the
was
meaning
this
of
feeling? What was your experience while practicing or in life especially? And what was your decision of saying, okay, now I'm a teacher, now I can go, maybe to level 2 or 3 or whatsoever.
also
And
if
John,
you
you will get the same question.
also what's the meaning of the wrong? If you understand wrong is now I can teach, or not I can practice for myself for level 2, or it depends what the understanding of the wrong.
I would say that is the shift between you started to practice Qigong and you go or you transition more into kind of advanced state, advanced practitioner, where you can say, okay, now I'm heading into kind of teacher or heading into a kind of I break now the rules of a practice, how the choreography is and stuff, and try to add bits and pieces or subtract bits and pieces, how your individual practice could look like. So the brave or the kindness or the braveness to say, okay, now I stop following the blind rules my teachers taught me. I now try to break the walls and try to do something else.
Yeah, my personally experience is Dr. Pang told us so many methods and so deep and fantastic entirety theory. I don't need to break
When
because
you
I got
say
I get everything in his theory, in his exercise. Also, I don't need to break means that doesn't mean so I'm totally stick on it. I have the freedom inside, and I have also enough space inside, but the question is if it's necessary. I need to, for me, to create something new, for me, it's not necessary, but for teaching is something else because different people need different method. Some may say, lift it up, push it down. This push pull is too hard. And in this way, you can also do the sewing cream or do some other other method, a shortcut or a easier one. This is flexible. It's it's also yeah. It also depends in which situation. Also compared to Dr. Pang's entirety, this method and theory, I think it's really enough for me to go deep into it, deepening, because it's covered with the body, with the chi, and also with the spirit, with the mind. And such a great method, and so simple as well. It's really amazing. So that's really enough for me. I
thank
don't
you.
break.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. And let it compare or put it next to John's experience. Tell me, John.
Um, I've my way of learning tends to be make a mistake, put it right. And I hadn't realized that until I'd got quite a long way through my practice. And that was actually the way I started teaching as well. I was arrogant enough to think that I had stuff that people needed to know. So I started teaching people things. And then you teach in a way that is safe, but then after a while you find out that actually the people who come to your class already know a lot of things. So then you have to teach differently because you're not trying to get them to think or do things the same way as you. You're trying to get them to think or do things the way that they will find the greatest benefit. They have the greatest freedom. So I'd like to think that I've got to a point that I'm capable of teaching well. But I'd be disappointed if I actually believed myself, because I think we should always carry on learning. I think that, and I've found this with the form as well. I remember many years, because I didn't initially start with Zheneng. I've studied a number of forms and taught in a number of forms. And one of the things that really struck me with Zheneng was that when I first tried it, I didn't like it. I found it difficult. I didn't like doing things that were difficult. I liked doing things that were easy. Because easy made me go, oh, look at me, I'm good at this. Aren't I a wonderful human being? And actually, it was finding the difficulty within Zheneng. And I think really a big turning point is that recognition of allowing the practice to be challenging enough that we can learn from it, but not so difficult that it kind of prevents us from moving forward. There's kind of an interesting balance to be hit. And I've found that the Zheneng form, the philosophies, the theories, the way that Dr. Pang expressed it, has continued to give me that challenge. I found that things such as the 8 phrases are a constant challenge. They constantly remind me of the places that I can carry on learning. And I think that is a really powerful place. So if the answer is when are you able to actually run with the practice? At this point in my journey, I would say the point that you can run with the practice is when you get over thinking that you've got it right. When you can actually use it in order to explore for yourself, but in a way that is aware and comfortable. And again, just to lean into the point that Ping made, that about community and being part of a group, it's really, really important to have that within it as well. We need this chi field, we need this gathering, we need this sharing, because it not only adds to the level of challenge that we feel within the practice, but it also means that we then have the support and the community in order to make things possible for ourselves.
Okay, thank you. Ping, what is entirety for you, and how would you express it to a person who never practiced Qigong, who never heard about it? Maybe your neighbor.
Entirety, yeah.
Entirety, or
Yes, I
chi field,
understand.
or yeah.
Yeah, the entirety is like the most important part of the Chinese culture, the tradition. Yeah, it's like the nature is the entirety. Yeah, and I think this is easy to understand in the Western culture, human nature. Now, because every day, not more and more people they care about the environment, the nature, relationship. Yeah, is quite developed and waked up to feel this entirety. If we do bad to the nature, nature will also feed that back in a negative way. Yeah, and entirety is our nature actually. Yeah. We are born in an entire way, in a holistic way, and the nature is also from the nature itself. It is a holistic, yeah, entirety. But our logical mind is separating, yeah, yeah. It's like the image is like in the Bible was written in the Eden's garden, the Adam and Eva, yeah. They were living in this paradise, yeah, in this garden. This garden is the entirety for me, yeah. It's an entirety. It's like in the nature, origin, entirety.
Mm.
But suddenly human being get more awareness because of the apple and the fruit, yeah. Yeah, actually it's not the apple, yeah. Because through the standing up in the past for the human being, we get our hand free and then started to work with the hand, and this gives triggers to the brain cells to develop more. And then, in our small brain, a lot of many cells, and they are connected with each other and then building up a very pure, very even, and very subtle quality. And with this quality, it's not only like the animals, a human being's brain can reflect inside to each other. Yeah, not only the image come in, but we can abstract the image and develop the conception, the language, logical understanding, and then we watch in the mirror, we can recognize it's me. Yeah, and many or most of animals, they are still not yet developed yet, and then they still live in a natural entirety way. But human being in the past, through this development awareness, recognize myself, and then, Adam and Eva get shamed also put the clothes on the body. And then God came back and say, oh, okay, now you should get out of this garden because you shouldn't do it. Yeah. Actually, my understanding of Qigong experience helped me a lot to understand religion, how to understand this story written in the Bible. And this means actually not God, but ourselves. Also, my personal understanding, yeah, ourselves, because our understanding recognize ourselves, we put us separate from the entirety. Because I'm looking to the tree, it's a tree, it's not me, yeah. And looking to nature, it's also I have the ego, yeah, more awareness on my life, yeah. It's me, my body, my name, and my occupying, yeah, and separating, yeah. And then the logical mind is developing, ego is developing continuously. It's not bad, yeah. It's development, but it's all the development is taking in a spiral way, yeah, in one direction and make a U-turn to the other direction. So because in this process, human being need to be survival, getting a better life quality, improve, yeah, getting more rich with material. We have to work hard, yeah, hunting, yeah, collection, planting, try our best, yeah, survival, fighting against animals, against nature, bad weather, yeah, catastrophes, for example. It's was a hard life, yeah. We need to work together, yeah. And then we need to always use the logical mind to improve, yeah, to get invention of the tools, yeah, helps the efficient of the work, for example. And then if we have some rest, and then as I reserve it for the future, for tomorrow, it's a kind of safety, and then I need to occupy. It's belongs to me. I reserve it to my own family, for example, and this connection to material level is getting stronger, stronger. Yeah, and this formless part is getting with the development less and less trained and less used, and then that's why today the development is out of balance. Material logical mind is extremely advanced, yeah, and then this formless entirety part is missing a lot, yeah. And that's why it causes a lot of unbalanced problem with a healthy of or with the mind. Yeah. And entirety is a nature ability of human beings' brain. Yeah. That is maybe not trained or not realized, not wake up yet. So it's not difficult. Yeah. If we want to explain this entirety in a logical way, it's like Dr. Pang said, what is qi? Qi is in an entirety way, and it's an entirely holistic state from the material, yeah, the energy and the information, yeah. So these three, yeah, merged together is an entirety, yeah. But our eyes, also what we see or what we listen, human being, what can touch, we can feel. It's not entirety. It's just one part of the whole. Yeah.
Mhm. I'm not sure I can. I'm still slightly blown away by that response. I'd not spent any time considering the Garden of Eden and the image of Garden of Eden in relation to entirety, and that's just making my head go, whoa, that's fascinating. And yeah, I think it's fascinating because I completely agree. I think that we are moving further and further away from the sense of interconnectedness, which seems so strange when the thing that seems to be driving this is our ability to connect so easily with each other in these online spaces. It just seems the wrong way around. It feels as if the way that all of this interconnectedness, all of this flow of data that is now available, should actually create the potential for things to open up and to release. But more and more, it seems to create very specific views on things, very strongly held opinions, and the inability to listen to each other. It's like everybody's been given a megaphone and they can shout whatever they want, but nobody's actually listening to anyone else. And I think that what the idea of entirety is to me is that, and I'm going to steal a line, I think it was the Dalai Lama said, we've got two ears and one mouth. We should spend twice as long listening as we do speaking. And I think I think that as a route back to the concept of entirety and interconnectedness, I think is really important. You know, the comment that you made about you look at a tree and you go, oh, look at that tree over there, and you don't necessarily think that is, I am with the tree is with me. This is it's part of a relationship with things. That it feels like a step that is on a societal level more difficult to achieve nowadays. And it's such a shame. And I think that the power of practices, and I'm going to broaden it out beyond Qigong because I think that there are other practices that enable us to do this. But that level of awareness of the interconnectedness of everything, I think, is so important. Yeah, I could dive way too deeply into this subject, so I'm going to, yeah. I'm going to avoid it. I think that we've had a wonderful answer to it, and so I'm just going to step away from that one and see what Joe can throw at us next.
Yeah. And yes. Go back to the topic with the Eden's Garden. Yeah. And I think if I remember my reading of Bible correctly, I read one reason that God is chasing the Adam Eva away is also because there's also another tree in the garden. If human being eats this fruit of the other tree of the wisdom or something like this, yeah, human being is going to become God as well, yeah. And
Yeah.
then this is actually related to Qigong, yeah. For example, if through our Qigong practice or through any other spiritual experiment, yeah, if you get this further development, you really unfolded, yeah, the entirety function of our brain, yeah, because we are only using maximum 10%, yeah, as at this time. Yeah.
Mm.
And if we can really unlock this gene level, yeah, or develop it, the potential completely, and we do get this wisdom, yeah, and we will discover the inner rich, yeah, the abundant power, yeah. And it could be beyond the physical 3 or 4 dimensions laws, yeah. A lot of potential of human beings' mind, of our true heart, true self, and in this way, entirety is very clear. If you really get this experience, you don't need to logical mind to explain it. What is entirety? Because you feel it. It is, yeah. And
Yeah.
also, but not many people can really get this experience easily, yeah. And then I think as teacher, it's a challenge for us to use our inner wisdom according, yeah, to the situation, how to teach. Some people need more body level to move the body, to learn the movement step by step, get into this chi state. And some are very sensible and they can feel the chi immediately. And some they have very bright mind. Yeah, they only listen one word. For example, the yeah, this to meditation, and immediately they know everything. And also the way to teach is also interesting. How to teach? Yeah, that's why Dr. Pang already explained at the beginning, Qigong, we have 3 ways to teach. Teach with the body, also with teach with the theory, yeah, or teach directly in Qi field, heart to heart with the mind, yeah. And today our goal, one goal, important goal for Qigong is to get balance, yeah, balance in the life with the body, with energy, with the mind, balance from human being with nature, balance in the relationship, and also balancing our mind from logical to this uh, unlogical entirety formless part. To get this balance is very nice. Yeah. It doesn't mean logical or ego is not good. It is good, helps us, but do not be a slave from it. You are the boss. This a sense, yeah. And for me, it's really the big reason
Mm.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, supporting the life to get the center. Yeah, in this way, you get the balance, you get the center, and then you get also wisdom, and you can handle with a lot of difficult situations as well.
Yeah. There was a piece that I read. I was doing some research around classical Chinese medicine. I guess it was beginning of the year, and I came across the concepts of the spirits of the organs. And there were 2 particular spirits that I thought were fascinating. One was the Hun, which is the ethereal soul, and one was the Po, which is the corporeal soul. And just playing with these ideas, and I was looking at the idea of mind and going, how much of our mind actually gets caught up with our physical experience and our human experience. And when we teach, we tend to have to teach into that human experience. But the Hun, the ethereal part, the part of us that is, to use a phrase, of heaven, how can we nourish that? And I think it's actually, as a teacher, I think that's a fascinating question, because you kind of can't teach ethereal from a physical perspective. You kind of have to give it the space for it to be. You need to find a way to access it, or find a way to give people the space to access it. And so that to me becomes very interesting, because if people start to access this space, I think it changes everything for them. And I think this is like the gateway into entirety in many ways. And I think that it becomes very difficult to teach it from anything that we really have language for, because language is based in physical experience or scientific thinking. And so yeah, it's a strange one because it kind of makes the work that we do as Qigong practitioners and as Qigong teachers seem pretty much impossible. But yet we know it's not impossible because we still do it. And it's kind of frightening and exciting all at the same time. And yeah, I really
Yeah.
enjoy that idea.
Yes, me too. And I think in this process is I changed my way of teaching a lot with the time. At the beginning, when I started to teach, I think I'm the teacher. Yeah, it's my responsibility to explain it clearly, to teach it in a correct way. Yeah, I need to build up T field. I need to show them, explain them. Yeah, and show them my experience. Yeah, and etc. etc. But later, suddenly, somehow, I realized I should trust the student. Yeah,
Yeah.
trust. Trust is very important. Trust the chief field, trust the student, and don't give any definition or conception who is the teacher, who is the student. We are all one, the
Mm.
entirety. Yeah, we learn from each other. Yeah, and we learn also a lot from the students. Yeah, and together we go continuously. Yeah.
Yeah, I had an experience of that that just blew me away years ago. There was one of the Chinese teachers, Gao, had come to the UK, and it was the first time he'd arrived. Um, and we did the first session with him on a retreat, and there was a person who was in the group who afterwards came up to me and said, Gao's chi field is amazing. He is so powerful. He is just amazing. And I was there going, I don't know whether I got that. So the next time he started a session, I stood back and just watched and observed to see what was going on. And it was amazing to watch because I don't think he put anything into the chi field. I think what he did is he created the space for everybody else to put something in. And I remember watching it and going, I've had this wrong all this time. It was it was just one of those moments, which is exactly what I think that's what you're saying. It's that, so often when we first start, we are imposing ourselves. We think we need to create the chi field, when actually it's a bit like when my favorite quote from Sri Damana Maharshi about if you dig a hole, did you create the hole? No, you just took everything out of it. That feels very much like the chi field. If you can get rid of all the junk that we bring to it, we create this space that is just so nourishing and so amazing.
But is that just maybe kind of Western approach to think about, okay, to make a wonderful, beautiful chi space or chi field, you have to do some rosa cushion here and some nice carpet and making a candle and whatsoever. It's like, you know what want to go to? Like, yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's the thing, right? You have to bring something that you get out from the field, kind of.
Yeah, it's nice to have it, but it's not necessary. You don't must have it.
Yeah. I have another question, maybe not directly related, but how can you cultivate, or how do you cultivate every day your state and your healthiness? And do you have a kind of morning routine, kind of that? How do you start your day with Qigong and cultivate it through all the day?
Maybe John should start.
oh yeah, please, yeah, please. um I I never used to I always used to think I was really crap at practicing. I was really bad at practicing because the way I used to start was I'd get up in the morning and I'd tend to be one of the first people up in the house, and I'd go outside and I'd walk around outside and just kind of notice what I wanted to do. And some days I'd end up in a place that I practiced in, and I'd practice for there was some days I might have practiced for 20 minutes. Um, and other days I'd go outside and I go, oh, it's wet and it's raining and it's windy, and I'm going back inside. And I kind of didn't have any structure. Um, but I was still somehow there was still something there for me. And I've then when with COVID and started to teach online. And I started to do this thing about 8 o'clock every morning. I'm going to go online and practice, and people can join me. And it's given me way more structure than I've ever been used to. And it's completely changed the way that I interact with Qigong. And I'm not sure that it's improved the way I interact with Qigong. It's just given me structure. Because I think before I was still giving myself the space. And I think to me, the thing that Qigong has given me is an understanding of giving yourself space. And I'm not always good at it. As anybody who knows me well will attest, I tend to get way too busy, way too involved in things, and not have the space to do things that I really should do. But I think the way that Qigong has come into my life is just through that thing. And even if it was the act of stepping outside and taking a breath or two and going, I don't want to be standing outside today. It gives you a moment. And that to me has been how it's kind of got in. And as I say, I've also spent times when I've gone outside and practiced for an hour and a half. But for me personally, all that's done is kind of fed the idea that I'm good at Qigong, which I think is utter rubbish. I think that stops me making any progress. I think I need to, in order to make progress, you need to recognize that you've still got stuff to learn. And if the practice reinforces that, oh, look at me, I'm great, I've nailed it, you've failed, absolutely failed, because you need to maintain that awareness of you've still got things to explore. That's what keeps it exciting, and you need the space to do that. I don't know if I've answered your question, but that was what came out.
Kind of. How can you keep your state, or can you even keep your state, or kind of how you go to your daily life with a kind of state of Qigong or mindset, or even the 8 phrases in mind? Like, I don't know, a conflict with your partner or whatsoever. Like, how can you be or stay in this kind of state? Is that even possible? And how do you do that?
You're asking the wrong person, because my answer is no, I can't stay in that state.
Thank you, Ping.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that your final answer to that?
Yes, I think
Yeah, okay.
I used to practice very hardly, yeah, like in the Chinese way to do. When I started, yeah, it's a 1 year every day, 8 hours qigong, yeah, in this school, and I did even additional in the evening at home. One
When do
or
you
two.
eat? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it was like starting 8 o'clock in the morning until 12, and then in the afternoon 4 hours again, yeah, after the lunch,
Yeah.
and then dinner, and then after dinner I add something to myself. Yeah, I would like to practice this or that. Yeah. So it's and today it's it's totally different. Yeah, and try more and more. Yeah, to integrate in the daily life to keep the awareness. This is the most important. Yeah.
How do you do that?
Oh, realize. Yeah. Aware what I'm thinking and aware
Okay.
what I'm doing. Yeah. Aware when emotion is there, why emotion is there. Yeah. Why I'm angry.
Mhm.
Why I'm so
Okay.
easily angry
Mhm.
for small things. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. And this awareness, I think, is the most important. And yeah, like John said, give yourself space. And this is very, very important. Yeah. And I think for the most people who is working, yeah, 8 hours, and then have duty for the family, yeah, have to play the role as a father, mother, yeah, have children, has responsibility for the family and partner. And then how many time do we have for the daily practice? This is really a big question for most practitioner. Yeah. And that's why The recommendation, like the normal way, is you can choose a certain time every day you keep. Yeah. For example, I have time in the morning or I have time in the evening. Yeah. Or choose one place. You always practice in this place. Yeah. And then you can very easily build up qi field, and then you build up habit. And then you're cleaning the teeth every day, you getting breakfast every day, and build up this habit for qigong. I think, especially for beginner or for some people, they need healing. They need to make the body stronger quickly. It's very important. Yeah. But after a certain experience you get, yeah, and then you will realize cultivating the mind is much more important. Like working with the body or with the qi is also much more difficult. Yeah, yeah, because the qi awareness, qigong consciousness is like baby. Yeah, and then our habit, logical mind, yeah, is very strong, like an adult. Yeah, you need to pay more attention to this baby. Let it like the seed. Yeah, you need to pour water, give sunshine, keep warm, let it grow up. Yeah, and this awareness, this heart. Yeah, uh, willing, intention. I like to do it. Yeah, this is my way. Yeah, the inner motivation is the most important. Yeah.
Can I just jump in on something here? Because I think, again, I think you've absolutely nailed it, because I think there is a perception that after years of Qigong, you achieve this kind of wonderful Zen-like state of nothing bothers you. And I've met a number of people who appear to have this state. But I think most of the people who appear to have this state don't really have it. They just pretend they have it. I think it is potentially possible. There's one person in particular I can think of who there was just a childlike sense of joy in everything that they did. But I think that didn't come from knowing he was there. It came from the humility to recognize when we are easily angered, when emotions arise. And I think, yeah, just to pick up on one of the pieces that you said there, Ping, about, recognizing that we get angry about things, and well, what's that about? And I think that's really what Qigong is about. Qigong is to me, it's a pathway to somewhere. It's a route to somewhere. And once I get there, I may never need to use the techniques ever again. But the journey to get there is fascinating, and it could be lifelong. I'm going
So
to
do
stop.
you mean Qigong is another awareness exercise, or even only an awareness exercise?
Oh, I think it's difficult to answer that one because,
Therefore, I ask you.
yeah, thanks for that. I think that to me, if I always like the translation of Qigong as becoming skillful with your Qi. So the practice itself is learning to become more skillful with your Qi. And there would then theoretically be a point at which you mastered your Qi. And if you reach that point, then would you still need to practice being skillful with your Qi if you are just skillful with your Qi? So I think ultimately it's a practice that leads you to a place that you would not need to practice at. But the people who I've met because again, my understanding of Pang's teaching is that he talks about the importance of structure and form. And then at a certain point, the form starts to dissolve and we start to come into a slightly more formless sense of practice. But that is still practice. That is still Qigong. That isn't the destination. That is just another phase of development. And then maybe beyond that, there's something. But how the hell would I know that? I'm still on the journey. I'm enjoying the view.
Yes, It's a good question. And John, your answer reminds me also at that time when I did education in China, and one good teacher who developed paranormal ability was invited to school, and we did a lot of meditation, and I got many experiences. Yeah. And then he told me, yeah, you're very sensible. Welcome on board to this Qigong boat. Also, it's like a huge ship uh, from the pirate. Welcome to the pirate ship. I didn't understand at that time why pirate. Yeah. So, because it's everything so nice, so beautiful, so harmonized, I enjoy it totally. I cannot relate it in anything to the pirate. Yeah. And later I went abroad to Switzerland and then later to Germany and then got my experience of life, got my married, And then with this kind of life experience, slowly I did understand what the pirate ship means. Yeah. 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 It's like um life is like a huge river. Yeah. And usually we stay on this side, this bank. Yeah. Bank is correct. Yeah. The word. Yeah. This the left bank or the right bank, another side. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's describing so this where we live, this bank is the ordinary life. Yeah. Everything is common, it's normal. You work, you get emotion, quite normal. Yeah, like everybody do. Judgment, emotions, conflict, fighting for life, enjoy, happy, love. Yeah, and then you read something or you get some imagination or some heart inside voice. I should discover the other side of the river. It's full of the harmony, beauty, the truth. Yeah, the entirety, everything. Yeah, it's like idol. Yeah, what you are seeking for, what your soul is looking for. Yeah, because you cannot get really satisfied of everything in life. Some voice, inner voice is yelling for you. There's something else you should discover. Yeah, and then this. I got it, this feeling when I, after a few days of my Qigong experience. And for me, it was immediately clear, Qigong, this is my way. This is my way to get to the other side. Yeah. And then I take on to this ship. And then it's so harmonized, so good. I'm getting more energetic, enjoy, also more balance. Yeah. And like it's discover a new world. Yeah. And then I discovered the river is so huge, it's like ocean. And then I already get on board. Also, and then the ship is lifting this bank. I cannot swim in back. It's too far away. Already in the center. Yeah. And then the other side is too far, so far. The back side is also far. It's like I'm hanging up. I don't want to go back because I know I'm on the right direction. But I haven't get on the destination yet. It's still a long or far way to go. Continue. And then suddenly appear. The pirate just appear, come out, hand up. You should put down, put down this thing, also give everything out, the habit. Also, also you should really cultivate yourself and face to the dark side of your character, of your habit, the truth, because nobody is perfect, and I have to really face to my shortage, to my weak point, or the darkest point, corner in my life, to be honest to myself, because she's nourishing everything, she's nourishing also the ego, she's nourishing, if you're not pay attention, nourishing everything, yeah. And then if the chi getting stronger, you get the you could also get very emotional because the qi is stronger. You cannot control it because John was also talking about you should be able to master the qi. Yeah, that's why you should cultivate your mind. Otherwise, you will pay a lot for it. Even very high cost, you cannot afford. Yeah, and in this way, it helped me also to understand why in our religion, is like teaching like you should love. Love yourself, love your neighbor. Love. Love is not because the logical mind we should love, because it's a solution, really the solution. Yeah, of certain level, you need to cultivate your mind and develop yourself and put down the how should I say, the relative negative part, and to get a true better you, somehow. And this process is somehow like a pirate. If you don't do, you will pay a very high uh cost in this way. It's also my true experience.
Mm.
Yeah, and in this way, with the time, you can understand even more and more what it means. It doesn't mean only the practice or only the level one, level two, or level three. Yeah, it's really the whole life task. Of course, you can choose different way to practice. For example, this river, if you just want to play a little bit of water, like go swimming and then go back again to your normal life, it's okay. I also have this kind of students, they just do once like gymnastic hours, they do qigong. It's okay. Yeah, it helps also to get more energetic, also to benefit a little bit. Yeah, and some people that's already enough. Yeah, they want to, they don't like to get more developed with the spiritual direction. It's not necessary. Yeah, and some similar like me, they get experience. They will make a decision. Yeah, this for me is the life, the whole lifelong. Yeah, and then you are on board, and then you should pay attention of this cultivating of the mind. Yeah.
That's interesting. I have to process that. But it's very, a few thoughts here and there. It can be dangerous for yourself when you're not ready to go into the center of the river, right? Then you can
Yes.
get overwhelmed.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. Is there on a river on this journey maybe somewhere a kind of a waterfall, and what is happening in a waterfall?
It's a beautiful journey. Yeah. A lot of
So-
waterfalls. Not only you will experience beautiful views. Discover a lot of things, but not only. Sometimes it's also stormy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting when some of the other styles of Qigong that I've spent time with, they've spoken about, and a number of them, they've spoken about a condition called Qigong psychosis, where you lose yourself because of the practice. And I can see how, using the analogy of the river, there is the potential in the practice to go into some very difficult places, some very dark places, some places that become very difficult to get out of. And again, I'd come back and say this is one of the reasons that I think Jineng is such an interesting practice, because it's been developed in such a way that when we release, we always follow that with gather. There's always an expanding before there's a returning. So you're always coming back to yourself. And my sense in the time I've spent practicing and teaching it is that different people will be able to release different things at different points and go further at different points. But it feels as if it's a far safer approach than a number of others that I've come across, because it gives you permission to come back when you want to come back. And yes, you can get into some, it will expose stuff that is not, it isn't all sweetness and unicorns and rainbows. There's real stuff that we can find in here. There's, we can really understand ourselves. But there's always the way back. And I think it's really important. And just to pick up something that was said there, the concept of love within this is massively important. But that doesn't mean that it is rainbows and unicorns. We always need to come back inside, and we always need to face the difficulties that we come up with. And long may that continue, because if you face no difficulties, you learn nothing. I'm going to stop there.
Maybe another direction. What is your experience, and have you experienced differences between practicing as well as teaching online versus offline?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which one?
Each one.
So what do you
each one, yeah.
experience, or what is the difference, or what is is there a difference in the Chi field, or is there a difference in kind of how the people are interact, or practicing, or the feedback, what the people feel, or more like this?
It's two very different spaces to work in. And I can't say one is better than the other. They're different. One of the things I thought was really interesting was when I started teaching online, and because the people who were coming to my class were coming from a lot of different countries, and then some of the slightly questionable political things that have gone on over the last few years, when they happen, there are certain people within the group, because of where they live, get very, very affected by it. And so you feel it within the group, and it has an impact on the group. So you're working with in many ways, a far broader awareness of what's happening, but the connection is more subtle. So if you work with a group of people face to face, you can hold them more carefully. You can challenge them a little bit more, because, if something goes wrong, then they're not going to be able to just turn their screen off and walk away. They're in the room with you. You can catch them. So you need to be able to hold the space in online that much more carefully. But the awareness is so much bigger, and the subtlety of the connection is different. So it's just a different place. And I think that the combination of the two really enrich the practice. I think the two together are just amazing. And I wouldn't want to choose one over the other. I want to have both within my life.
Yes, me too. I think the only not so perfectly going on by online teaching is if you teach some complicated movement to do the correction, yeah, maybe it's not so good, yeah. But otherwise, it's yeah, the chi field, the connection, yeah, is so wonderful. Of course, face to face sometimes it's more beautiful because yeah, it's you can touch, you can hug people, yeah. Yeah, it's a different feeling, but also for the chi field, for the heart to heart connection, both very beautiful, very nice, yeah. And teaching and learning for me is always happening at the same time, because teaching all the students, also supporting, help me to learn, and yeah, just always like this.
What about food and practice? In a case of, in a way of, is it when you say entirety, when you say we are nature, I go into the direction of, is it ethical, or is it practical in a Qigong practitioner way that we eat animals? Because we eat ourselves. If we stay in this analogy, we eat ourselves, do we? When we are the animal, when we are the tree, when we
Yes, somehow, yeah. That's also true, yeah. But Yeah, but it's also the law of the nature. Yeah, it's nature itself. Yeah, and it's this yin yang balance, because in the nature, it's not everything just in harmony. It's a conflict. Yeah, and like the animal. The food, the the chain of the food. Yeah, the animal. Yeah, also the tiger and the lion is. It's like hunting, yeah, eating the other, yeah. But the whole nature is in balance. Yeah, this balance is important. Yeah, and from Zhenan Qigong, the original teaching from Dr. Pang didn't or doesn't focus of you have to be a vegetarian. Yeah, but you can select food which have a higher quality of qi. Yeah. And so if you would like to do vegetarian or not is totally individual personal decision. Yeah. Of course, there's a lot of advantage to eat in a vegetarian way. Yeah. And but Zhenan Qigong also doesn't focus in this way of the food. Yeah. And Zhenan Qigong also doesn't focus of Bigu. Bigu is in the Taoism traditional Qigong. So you don't eat anymore. You just drink some water or eat very, very less. Yeah. You can try a little bit for a few days, but we don't focus a lot on this Bigu uh, exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's such an interesting question because it's kind of such a challenging question. And yeah, I mean, we can say that if we eat animals, we eat ourselves, but then we've already said that, if you stand and look at a tree, you are the tree and the tree is you. So the same can be said of plants as well.
Yes, yes.
So I think for me, um, I think it's right that we don't have a strong focus on it. And I think it's also really, really spot on that we need to focus on the quality of the qi in the food. But I think we also need to have an awareness of what we believe is good for us. So some people will feel very disturbed because if they eat a certain thing, mainly because of the way that they perceive that certain thing, and they won't find the benefit in it for themselves. If you take it to, there's certain foods that I think most people have a certain food that they don't like. So you wouldn't ask somebody to eat something that they don't like, because what is that process of eating food? If you're not enjoying it, then you're not getting the nourishment, the benefit from it. So if eating meat makes you feel uncomfortable, then maybe that isn't something that you should be doing. Whereas if you find the nourishment and the joy in eating meat, then why should you not do it? I think if you look at it on a broader societal level, I think that there is a very strong argument there about, again, coming back to nature, we need to find the right balance in the way that we exist. There was a really interesting piece that I came across quite a few years ago about a way of farming where they're saying that we have like rotation of crops, but there was an argument that says that having animals on the land should be part of the rotation of the crops because it puts nutrition back into the land. It does amazing things for the soil. But there's an implication there that if there's, I can't remember what the cycle was, but over a number of years, only 1 year the animal would be on the land. So maybe we eat way too much meat. Maybe in order to have a healthy balance, we need to reduce the amount of meat that we eat. But again, it's understanding the balance and finding out how that works. And I think it's kind of always moving and very complex. So I'm going to back away from that one before I say something offensive.
That's true. Yeah, and also for Zhineng Qigong, we also experience different practical stage, also different body request. Yeah. For example, for a certain level, you practice for a while, and then you have such a feeling, you're so hungry. Yeah. It's like some inner space is getting more opened. Yeah. You can eat a lot. Yeah. And you also need to eat a lot. Yeah. But you are not getting more weight because the transformation is so good. Yeah. You keep very fit, but you can eat a lot. Yeah. A lot of things, opening inner space, transforming of the chi, always getting very hungry. This happened mostly, for example, by intensive training of level 2. Yeah,
Mm.
open more inner space, a lot of movement, open the joints. Yeah, for example, and also sometime after or before you feel the qi in body is very abundant, and then in this period of time you're not hungry. Yeah, you don't want to eat. Yeah, because your body don't need get very good nourished. In this case, you should follow your body, what the body is telling you, what you need, yeah, and not follow your ego. Your ego is telling you, I want to have some sweeties or chocolate. It's not what your body is telling you. It's a very subtle difference. Yeah, yeah, you
For
can.
people who don't feel themselves anymore in practices, brackets, how can you give them an advice or a kind of information how they can differentiate between the ego and the body?
Yeah, but after the practice, I think the people will not keep 24 hours in this state. They don't feel themselves anymore. If the body is hungry, it's telling us it's hungry.
Okay, but
It's very
when I'm
natural.
not
Yeah.
practiced,
Mm,
when I'm in daily life, there are,
mm.
I would say, fat people out there with, I don't know, psychology pattern out there or whatsoever. So, how can you, or would you say, can you differentiate between, okay, that's your ego which is talking to you. Well, that's your body. I need salt or I need, I don't know, minerals or whatsoever. Can you differentiate between that? And how? When do I know that's the belly or that's my
But
body
I
talking?
know. I think everybody know it. Everybody inside, in the true self, the true heart knows it.
All right.
The true heart knows what is the real need and what is addiction. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think we're good at ignoring stuff and thinking that we're going to have, there's going to, suddenly an angel's going to appear and tell us what to do. And that's not the way it works. Um, you know, I remember having conversations with people saying, "Oh, I don't feel chi, I'm not sensitive at all." And you say, "Well, have you ever been in a bar and you can feel that trouble is about to happen?" And they go, "Yeah." And you don't feel chi? We all feel chi, but there's an idea that it's something mystical and a skill that we need to develop. But the bottom line is that we all feel it. We will feel it in different ways. And I think really it's about, do you pay attention to it or do you ignore it? That's the bigger question. Do you pay attention to it or do you ignore it?
All right. Um, I take a look to the time. I guess we finished almost the 90 minutes, so I would go to a close-up kind of. What do you like to tell the people, or maybe a question to that? What is your mm, practicing or your extract from Qigong, from your practice, from your journey in one sentence?
Oh, that one is going to leave a long pause.
Okay, that was your sentence?
In one, yeah. Yes, it's a long pause. Um, I think that I am not my emotions. I am not my feelings. I am beyond. I am. There is something beyond, and that's what I want to. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to be. Actually, I tell you what. It's way more than a sentence, but I'm going to grab a piece from Rumi because I think that there is a poem by Rumi, and I can't remember it exactly, but I think and the idea is there is a field beyond right and wrong. Meet me there. That to me speaks of what Qigong is to me.
And for me, it's don't worry, be happy.
Oh, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, thank you much. Well, thank you very much, you both. And maybe we have another time, another chance to talk deeper into that.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Ping.
Thank you, Ping and John, for this wonderful conversation. Stay tuned to next time and see you on Tuesday when the next episode will be released.